How you doing? And welcome back to another leadership question and answer session. Hopefully, as always, the questions that I've received throughout the week, I hope that I answer them in a way that'll help the individual that ask the question, as well as I hope that they can help others that may have similar questions or that will find themselves in similar situations later down the road. The first question I have is, how do you create that balance between getting the most out of people at work while still allowing them to get the most out of their personal lives? Let's say that comes from just emphasizing the importance of that balance by letting people know that their personal lives are very important as well as their professional lives. Some people believe that they're on two different planes where a person's personal life occurs at a certain time and then it just shuts off and then their professional life kicks on, but then that shuts off. It's not like that. It's a continuous circle in which one will eventually affect the others. Someone with a happy home life will be more productive at work. Someone with a bad home life will eventually let that bleed into the work situation. So now, how can I help that person, or how can you help that person have the best of both worlds? I would say ask them those significant questions about events that occur in their lives, their kids' birthdays, maybe report card day, parent teachers meetings, what their wife's birthday or their husband's birthday, just these important days, and put them on your calendar so that you can be prepared to allot them time off if you need. They're already getting paid their paycheck, and more money doesn't always solve problems. But some more time to take care of personal events will help them go recharge. They will have happiness at home, and they'll be able to come back to work knowing that they work for a leader that trusts them with time to take care of their business, so that they know that you're not all about using them like a machine or like a tool, like that. You understand that they're humans and humans have needs. And I promise you, if you commit to taking care of that, you get that much more from them at work, because not only will they respect what you're doing, but those at home that are having these opportunities with them, the wife or the husband that it gets to see them on their birthdays, or they know that they're able to make it to other functions, they at home will also respect what you do. And they will also get behind that employee or that teammate's commitment to the job. So the best way to maintain that balance is by letting people know that it's important, first off, you emphasizing it, and you giving them time as a resource to allow them to take care of those significant events, and asking them how is their home life, and if need be, stepping in and helping out with your experience and whatever else you have to add that might help them in their situations. Leadership doesn't stop at 5 o'clock, so get involved with them, and they will continue to commit back to you as their leader. The next question I have is, if someone wants to be promoted to a leadership position, should they start the process? I say you have to start leading where you are, meaning leading your peers, leading those that are around you that also could use some purpose, motivation, and direction. See, leadership isn't something that happens once you get in a position. The position is supposed to be based on the fact that someone at some point saw you as a leader. Let's look at a football team, for example. You made all the players on the same level. You have the coaches coach, the owners own the team, but each player is a player. They're getting on the field and they're grinding out. However, those players that take the time to motivate others to work harder, they motivate themselves to be better, they're constantly pushing the team, they're constantly concerned with what the other players are doing as far as how hard they're working to become better. Those players are eventually moved to captain. So be a captain of the position that you're in right now. Lead yourself, lead others, Lead your leaders sometime if they need to. Take initiative right where you are, and then someone will recognize and think to move you forward. The second thing you can do is look at what is required from your organization to be a leader. Find out their requirements. Talk to your supervisor or do whatever reading you have to do so you can find what those requirements are. And then write out a well devised plan of how you are going to go from where you are to where you need to be as far as those requirements. Okay? So start where you are. Lead in the place you are and find the requirements of the next level. Next question is, how can a leader inform someone that they may not be ready for leadership without destroying their drive? I would say the best way to start doing that is to start off with the positive. You have to let that person know what they do right. What leadership qualities and values do you see in them at this point? Let them know where their starting base is. Next, you have to let them know where they fall short. Be detailed. Let them know exactly what it is. Because the next thing is you're going to show them or help them create a plan to overcome those shortfalls, whatever those things may be. And once they have that plan, you can close out that session letting them know that you do see some good things, but here is the gradable things that you don't see in them, and this is their plan of getting it. The next step is following up. Create a follow-up date, sit down with them, and now you keep giving them a little more input and information so that they can become better. In the long run, that person is becoming a better team member, and hopefully they'll fulfill the obligations and become the leader they want to be and the leader you would like to see them be. What is the difference between a leader and a manager? I would say the biggest difference between a leader and a manager is the mind state. If you look at what's written for a manager to do, that is the same as what is written for a leader to do, because the manager is the position. Rarely will you go fill out a job application and say, I want to be the leader here. These are what's written is usually the managerial task, the managerial job. But the mindset of the leader is different than the manager because the leader sees the implied tasks. Some of those implied tasks are to create new leaders, to build self-managed teams, which means building a team full of leaders that know what needs to be done and are willing to go get the job done regardless of any input from supervisors. Another implied task of a leader is to improve the organization. What steps do you have to take, or where do you see that you can create an impact to take the organization to the next level? And also to leave a legacy. See, leaders are in a mindset of leaving a leadership legacy. They want to add something to the organization and to the individuals in the organization that comes from them, that is their fingerprint on the organization. They want to leave a leadership legacy because that way they know that they added something to the organization to make it better than the day they arrived there. And my last question was, what motivates me to be a leader? I would say my original motivation came from being led by someone that at the time wasn't very involved and wasn't very enthused to lead. They were more of a manager, and I was able to look and see other people being led, really led, and I was inspired by seeing some of the actions that the other leaders were taking, whether it was during the work shift, doing those extra things to create schedules that were conducive to making sure that people could maximize their personal life as well as their professional lives, and so many other tasks. And my motivation at that time became, I want to be like those guys. I want to be that type of a leader that people can look up to and look forward to seeing at work and knowing that I have their best interests in mind. So my motivation for leading at this point is to create other leaders and to help people reach their maximum potential. That's what motivates me to lead. That's why I'm in love with reading leadership, learning more about leadership, listening to leadership CDs whenever possible. I'm always ready to sit down with another leader and ask them questions so that I can selfishly take in more, so I can selfishly give more at the end of the day. So those are the questions that I pulled from the week to answer. There's some other questions that I've been asked, but I'll roll them over into the next leadership question and answer session. I hope that these answers were beneficial to you and helpful to helping you move forward in your career or whatever your situation is in which you want to be a better leader. You can find more from me by going to my blog, which is directingreflections.com. And you can also follow me on Twitter at LeaderCoach14. I would ask that if you go to directingreflections.com, that you enter your email address and subscribe so that you can get the updates as I continue to write and add to the blog, that you will get an emailed update letting you know what's new and what's going on. You can also subscribe here to this YouTube page, my Directing Reflections YouTube page. People ask me why Directing Reflections, and I came up with that name because I believe that as leaders, we're supposed to create the reflections that we want to see in the mirror. It's easy to talk the talk, but people tend to do what you do. And as a leader, we want to create the direct reflections. All right? And thank you very much. And if you have any questions, you can email them to me at directingreflections14@gmail.com. Hope you have a happy work week and keep pushing forward and keep leading.